Tom, as you were, you've mentioned some of the stories that have gone through those first 2 decades, but there were a lot of ups and downs during that time in the industry. What did it take to overcome some of those challenges that were faced in the land industry and the energy industry at large?
Yeah, we had a lot of bad times in the oil patch, and I would be knocking on a lot of doors looking for the next job. And I remember I had a lunch with a guy, and he was telling me that it was so true. At the end of the day, I would be talking to people that they just wear me out because how bad things really were in the oil patch. And I decided I wasn't going to hang around these people with all these negative aspects because all they did was just take me down with them. And I had to have a positive attitude. And so I made a conscious effort to, be around people that had positive attitudes. That helped me move forward. I had some banks that were willing to kind of get behind me and stay with me at the time. And we'd been in the business long enough that banks realized that, then I was good for my word, and we paid our bills. I have to admit there were a couple of times that I wanted out of the business. It got so bad. But unfortunately I didn't find another job. Not that I didn't look at it twice, perhaps the thought of moving on to a different career, but, I just stayed in there. When things got really ugly, I rolled my sleeves up and I went back into the field and started pulling books just like I began, and just started over and just grew it again. And we probably did that 4 or 5 times. It's like it got ugly, I'd go right back to the field and do what all our contractors did, and built it back up again. And then, like I mentioned, there's about 2000 when the shale plays broke loose is when things really turned around. And we
Yeah, and
just
even
look back, and we were able to grow. And when we opened our office in Texas, it gave us some diversification, and that was a real blessing to have 2 offices. And then we had 3 offices, so we had more and more diversification. I don't know if I answered your question completely. I look back at those ugly times, and I know I spent a lot of time away from family at the time, and I can look back. I'm not happy about that, but that's what it took to keep the doors open. That's when
I think sometimes you, if you're in it long enough, you're going to have the ups and downs. And I think when you're in the downs, you don't realize what you're doing to get out of it, but you can look back once you've come out of it and say, wow, we're still a landman. And that was something that was always instilled upon us early on, was like, you're a manager now and you're coordinating and running things now, but you're still a landman. And when times get bad, you got to go back to being a landman and make sure that, you can get the work done and still be the one to do it and not be dependent on someone else to do those things. So it's positive attitude is also a big thing. I think if you're going to stay in this business, you have to be relentless. And you can't get down. Tom has nailed it. When things are bad, everybody's singing the blues, and man, you can get a bad headspace when things are slow if you surround yourself with those kind of people. So keeping a positive attitude, keeping a workmanlike attitude is looking back what gets you through those things. It's like, well, this is what's in front of us, and we've got to tackle it, and we've got to work harder than the next guy, and be the best option. And I think the imprint that Tom left on the company lives today with that attitude. It's, stay positive, work hard, and be the guy who can still do the work, and make sure that your quality and your product, when the work does come and it's slow, boy, you knock it out of the park, may have no reason to go anywhere else. So that's a big thing. That's a lasting culture in our company.